voices, building worlds. The Ampliverse.
Welcome to the Autistic Delicatessen.
What you eat, what you drink, is your story.
So when you eat with awareness, you want to eat what you already think you are.
When they're looking at history, looking at our food, there's just so much to bring people together.
Come get this love. Come get this love.
Today's guest is Amir Rahimi from Rappin and Snackin. A hip-hop enthusiast and a foodie, Amir loves to discuss, collect, and display all things hip-hop throughout his social media. His love of food also appears alongside, sometimes accompanying the specific music. Like any foodie, Amir loves to explore various places and show off pictures on Instagram. Some of his hip-hop collections include artists such as Dr. Dre, Redman, and Kanye West. So, Amir Rahimi, welcome to the Autistic Delicatessen. It's great having you here.
Yeah, good to be here. Thank you.
No worries. First question is, what got you started with Rappin and Snackin? Feel free to tell us your story.
Yeah, so as far as the name and brand, I was in college one day and I always, I was just known as the rap guy amongst my friends and people on the internet. But I've just loved rap for a very long time since I was younger. I also ate a lot, with my friends and people, and I was always posting food photos on the internet. So people just would sometimes contact me for food recommendations, near where I live. So I then was like, I just was thinking of some names, and then I just thought of the name Rappin and Snackin, and I thought it sounded pretty catchy. It rhymed. I thought it was cool. And then I just went with that. That was in probably like 2014, 2015. So like 7-8 years. And then I changed my name on Instagram to Rappin and Snackin probably like 4 or 5 years ago. So yeah, that's kind of pretty much how it started.
Now, before we get to your food favorites and how you like mix in some nice hip hop tracks along with it, there was a recent YouTube video that you posted up to where one of your followers happened to give you some stuff from Mom Spaghetti, which was Eminem's restaurant in Detroit. So you want to tell us a little bit about that? I know you already had a video about reviewing that and the products of that, but were you already interested in the whole thing?
Yeah, I was very interested because, Eminem's one of my favorite artists for one. And just what's so fascinating is he just had a line in one of his most popular songs, Lose Yourself, about how he's nervous and he throws up and there's Mom Spaghetti on his sweatshirt and his clothing. And I found it so funny how over 20 years later, that line is now got him so popular, or the line has become so popular that now he just made a restaurant just on that one line because everyone thought it was so funny and an interesting part of the song. So I thought that was unique. And then to actually really have a sustainable business is also just another thing on top of that, which makes it just so much more intriguing. And I just contacted someone who I'd just been, speaking with through Instagram, and she basically she lives in Detroit or Michigan, and she said she was going. She just reached out and said she was going. So I said, just please, whatever you can get, send my way. I'll pay whatever it is. And she did just that. And they did actually open in LA for a weekend or for a few days, but I happened to be busy that week. It was only like 4 days or something like that. And the Super Bowl was that weekend. So I was just pretty busy and there were crazy lines. I'm sure they'll come back again to LA, but I was definitely excited to get some stuff, and hopefully I can try it next time they're here if they come back.
Yeah, that would be some place to really check out. And even I like the suggestion on your video about like Eminem bringing that on his tour, because I think that would be a nice idea to have Mom Spaghetti there. Because I remember when I first heard that line from the Lose Yourself track, I was always thinking, I always referenced the food. Like when I heard Mom's Spaghetti, I was like, oh, I just made me think of spaghetti. And then actually do his manager or business partner, Paul Rosenberg, they just started this thing in Detroit, So, I'm sure Only will also like some of that, because if you've seen some of the pictures of the food and what they have there at Mom's Spaghetti, I'm not trying to say I had it, but it looks very interesting. I think it's very Detroit type food stuff.
That would be interesting. Definitely would want to try it. Well, even if it's good or great or average or whatever it is, I'd still like to try it. That would be interesting, and would love that.
Yeah, it's an experience regardless. I mean, I find it, and I'm interested as well. I mean, I quite like Eminem as well. I'm familiar with his music and grew up with his music as well. I mean, one of the few rap music that I do listen to, because I do listen to rap now and then, and I know quite a few people that are into it. I know someone who's into like Dr. Dre, The Chronic, and all that, and they're like heavy into it, and it's pretty cool. And it's good. It's cool to see. It's also cool to see that your collection is that you've shown on Instagram. It's like so much. It's amazing.
Thank you. Yeah, the music's amazing too. So so that always
Here.
helps.
I totally agree. I mean, I love music, so music's just a big part of me, and I love various genres as well. So, but yeah, I noticed in some of your posts that you accompany food with some music you're listening to at the time from your collection. Is the food choice deliberate with the music? Like, oh, that suits that kind of food, or is it just coincidental or what you feel at the time?
It depends. I'd say before, like probably a couple of years back, I really put a lot of thought into what I wanted to take a photo with. So back then, like I would plan to eat somewhere, right? I'd plan, let's just say I'd want to go to a sandwich shop, and I would, before, like I'd have plans with friends or whoever, or just by myself, and I'd look up lyrics, and I'd literally I'd go to this website, I think it's lyrics.com or something like that, and I'd type in sandwich, or I'd type in something like that, and then there'd be all these results of artists that mention sandwich. Well, that's not just rap, it goes through rock, it goes through country, it goes through whatever genre that an artist would say sandwich. So as you can imagine, I'd get a lot of results, but then I'd kind of filter out the rap ones, and then I'd have a few options, and then I'd want something on cassette because cassettes are smaller and I can fit more of them in the photo. It would just make for an easier photo. So that's kind of what I did. So I'd have to find the lyric, I'd have to make sure I have the cassette and all that stuff, and kind of coordinate it. And then sometimes what I'd also do is, let's say I was going to like a chicken place or something, right? And I didn't want to do what I just said. Maybe I'd get a few cassettes that spell out chicken, CHICKEN, with like the first letters of their name. So C, it can start off with like, let's see, Cameron, and then the H can be Heavy D, like something like that. Like that's what I would do. But now it's a little more random now. I don't have as much like creativity to my posts. Now it's kind of just like what I've been playing that week, because yeah, I just like doing that now. I'll switch it up sometimes, but that's kind of how I started and like the evolution of those posts.
And I know that also in LA, like one of the food restaurants that you've connected with was Howlin' Ray's, and you always go there for their chicken fingers and some of their sandwiches though. So like, how did you first get in connection with them?
So Howlin' Ray's, that's funny that you mentioned them, because I feel like I talk about them all the time. So Howlin' Ray's, how I found out about them, they were just really popular. And I had heard about them through many people, just seeing photos online, etc. And I used to work at a radio station in Hollywood, and basically we had someone there who had a show. His name was Bad Luck. He's a rapper, he's an entertainer, and he's a friend of mine too. But he ended up also talking about Howlin' Rays. And when I also heard him talk about it and I had trusted his food instinct, I was like, okay, well, I've heard about this place already 10, 20 times. Now Bad Luck's talking about it. I need to go. The problem was they're only open till 4 p.m. They're only open, like, I think at one time it was Tuesday to Sunday, 4 p.m., or maybe Monday to Saturday till 4 p.m. And I work till 5, so I can't go. And Saturday, they had lines that were 2 hours and over. So I didn't want to wait in that line. So basically, what ended up happening was I was at that job, then I had another job after, and I ended up getting laid off. The whole company got laid off. So the week after I got laid off, I was like, well, I got nothing to do now. Let's go and try it out. So I tried it out, and it was the best chicken I had ever. It was really my favorite food. And you can still tell today it's still my favorite food. And that was a little over 4 years ago. And I've just been addicted, and I've been going. And one day, the real story is one day I brought a cassette to the restaurant to take a photo, kind of like what you two just asked me about. And the owner of the shop, he didn't know who I was, but he just was like, oh, is that a cassette? And I said, yeah. And then I told him about, what I'm doing, taking a photo, blah, blah, blah. And he thought it was awesome. And he gave me some free food and some shirts. And then he invited me to check out the restaurant, like in the back, and really down to earth people. His name's Johnny. And ever since then, we've just been even closer. And yeah, it's the best restaurant, best hospitality. It's amazing. If you're ever in LA, you gotta go. It's definitely breathtaking food.
That's awesome. If I ever visit LA, I'll keep that in mind. I love places like that. I've been to a few places that are like that. They're so accommodating, and then they can be generous, and you're just like, wait, what? And you're just like, it's just so cool. So cool.
So good.
Yeah, definitely. And it's interesting how you're able to collect, like, along with food, like so much of hip hop, and some of it that goes back to the golden era, like, and me being in the South, like, I'm glad that you also, I'm from Florida, but also you got like stuff from Outkast, and you're a person that knows good lyricism. So like, how do you usually, for your channel, like, I know we're a food and drink show, but since we're talking about your stuff, like, how do you usually go about finding these rare gems? Because some of these things, like, you find collector's items that nobody else currently has out on the market.
So I'd say a lot of it you find in the beginning, through just scouring, whether it be, places in person, like a record store. Sometimes, like, I live not too far from Amoeba, which is one of the bigger and well-known record stores just really in the world. There's a few locations, and the biggest one was in Hollywood. They did recently change locations, so I'm not sure if they're still the biggest, but I would imagine they are, as far as the 3 Amoebas. So places like that, sometimes they'll have rare things, and other record stores and swap meets. Sometimes I find a lot of stuff online, especially in the past 2 years with everything going on. I bought a lot of stuff online, and some things now they find me, because since I have quite a few things, sometimes people just reach out to me and say, hey, do you need this? Hey, do you want to buy this? Hey, I'm selling all this stuff off. And I guess since they see my posts all the time, sometimes people want to just donate to a home that they think will take care of the items. So they'll help me out, thankfully. And sometimes they'll say, hey, I'm selling, so do you want first dibs? And then we'll chat. And then maybe I'll buy it, maybe I won't. So that's usually how it happens. Also, just knowing some people too who've been in the industry, they'll go ahead and let me know that they have extra things and hand it off or sell it. But I feel like getting stuff for free, or getting stuff from the people, like I said, I know hasn't happened as much lately, just because of everything that's going on. And I'm into a swap meet in over a year to 2 years. And that's where I've gotten a lot of things. It's unfortunate. It'll come back though. It'll come back.
Yeah, hopefully the sooner the better, as they say, because places like that are always the best to find rare gems, because a lot of people don't realize like how things cost. It's like when I go to a lot of like car boot sales and which is basically like swap meets kind of thing. And a lot of people always have rare things that they don't realize how rare it is, and you're just like, are we getting that? Even charity shops can be good sometimes, but it's always that once in a blue moon lucky day kind of thing. And I've noticed that a few times. And even me and my partner have had a few lucky days. Back to food. What is considered your favorite food?
Favorite food is really actually like the fried chicken I was talking about. So Howlin' Ray's being my favorite place that sells it, but I'm just thinking about it. When I actually also usually ask people this question, people always say everything. No one likes to pick one thing, I feel like. And for me, it is really just fried chicken. It's really, I just love it. Not only what I was just talking about with Howlin' Ray's, who serve like the Nashville hot chicken, but also chicken wings. I love chicken wings. It can be just the plain chicken wings. It can be like, the American style. It can be Korean fried chicken, which I also really enjoy. It can be the Nashville with Howlin' Ray's. I also, if we're talking about specific types of rubs, I love lemon pepper. I think that is just an excellent flavor. So really that's pretty much my favorite. I like lots of foods, but if I had to pinpoint it to one genre, I'd probably say that's my favorite.
What's considered your favorite drink?
So let's see. I can go a couple ways here. I actually really enjoy boba drinks, or some places they call them bubble tea drinks. I really enjoy those. And the boba or the bubble or the boba tapioca balls itself, those aren't the drink. Those are just a supplement to the drink, right? So typically I like that. And then I also enjoy for the actual drink aspect of it, I'll usually prefer a milk tea. It kind of depends on the day, right? Like a milk tea is usually what I'll like. But sometimes if it's like a hot day, maybe I'll get like a mango black tea or something to that effect, where it's a little more refreshing. And it's always that type of drink too. It's something that I really enjoy walking around, or sometimes go to the beach, walk around, take some sips, embrace nature, whatever it is, and just have that in my hand and do all that. Or if, I'm with some friends, we'll sometimes go and just get boba and like catch up and just drive and do all that stuff. So boba is one of them. If we're talking something like aside from boba, I also love shakes. I'll really like to, and I prefer thick shakes, something that you can still get through a straw, but something that you may need a spoon to get everything, a little thick. It went because it lasts longer and it doesn't melt as fast. I just prefer like a thick cookies and cream Oreo shake, or like even a coffee shake, a thick coffee shake. And I don't drink coffee really, just in general, like, hot coffee, anything too dark or like black coffee, right? I don't really drink that. But for some reason, when it's in shake form, I think it's amazing. I really do. It's so good.
Yeah, because it's very interesting, Amir, because I remember I've had bubble tea in the past. I had more of that like tapioca, like from some of the food trucks, like in Florida, because they always had like this really good like bubble tea flavor and the tropical flavors, so it's good that you like that type of stuff. And in terms of shakes, like, I don't know if they have this out in LA, but have you ever been to the Shake Shack?
What's funny is they do have quite a few Shake Shacks. They opened their first one a few years back, and it's funny because I've actually never been, despite there being a lot of them now. I have no excuse not to go. But I remember when they first opened up, I wanted to actually go to the New York ones, because I think they either started in New York or that's where I first saw them. So I wanted to go more on the East Coast where they originated, to my recollection, because that's where I first saw them. But that's why I didn't start going. I was like, might as well wait. I mean, it is pretty much fast food, so I'm not really in a rush to go try it. I know it's not going to end randomly. I can pretty much go whenever I want. And then that just turned into just me not going. So I still haven't been. I've heard good things and I've heard okay things, just like with any fast food place. But we also have In-N-Out over here. So for like a fast food burger, I think I got the bases covered. But I will try it. I'll probably still wait to go to New York or something and just try it real quick for a bite to eat when I'm there, because I do go there. I haven't been there in a while, but I've been there probably like 4 or 5 times. It's an awesome place to visit.
Are you a person that also likes some pizza too as well?
Oh yeah, love pizza. Love pizza.
Yes. One of my favorite foods is pizza, so you can't go wrong with it. Last time my partner made homemade pizza, he made the dough and I made the sauce because I can make a banging pizza sauce.
Nice.
So otherwise than that, like, have you ever tried like New York style pizza or like Chicago deep dish or anything like that?
Definitely both of them. Also Detroit style pizza. I've tried that as well. Thankfully, LA has a lot of places that offer a lot of different foods. We have a lot of, we have a big melting pot of ethnic people. So we really have pretty much any type of food, and I'm grateful for that. So pizza, in terms of that, I really like, my favorite place might be the Detroit style pizza with Apollonia's Pizzeria in LA. And they have this Detroit pizza with pepperoni on it, burrata, hot honey. It's a big thick slice, and really I can only eat 2 and I'm full, and sometimes really only 1.5 because it's big. And it's not like it's like a $2 slice or anything like that. It's like $8 or $9. It's, like I said, it's a pretty big slice. So that is just that's right. That's the first or second Detroit style pizza I've had. So great. Chicago, there's a few places here that I also like. One's called Masa of Echo Park. They have a pretty good Chicago deep dish style that I really enjoy. And then New York, I mean, that's pretty much like, those are more common. And a lot of these places like Apollonia's, they also have like New York slices. I don't remember the places I went to in New York because it's been like 5 or 6 years since I last been there. I think 5 years. But really there, I mean, I think the whole thing is you can pretty much find it any block. Like I remember having good pizza wherever I was over there. So yeah, I feel like pizza, it's hard not to like it. It's such a, especially if you get like your standard slice, like your New York slice, it's so easy to pick up on the go, split a box. When you get to like the Detroit and the Chicago style, it gets a little more messy, but it's still all so good. I mean, how can you not like it?
Totally, I agree.
Now I have another type of pizza I need to try, like Detroit style, because really I never tried the New York stuff and I never really tried the Chicago deep dish. I know there's been a whole back and forth on that, but I definitely want to try it out and then give my own opinions more on that. So I've been to a close by pizza place in the past, but the pizza was okay though. But I like more of like either like Pizza Hut or like Papa John's, those type of things and all that stuff. So
Is there anything in your collection that you're most proud of or what is most precious to you? And if so, what is that?
Oh, I get asked this question. I can never answer it because there's so much stuff that I really enjoy. I'm proud of a lot of it. It's really hard to pinpoint it down. But if I want to give you one thing, so Easy E, rest in peace. So he is, huge in hip hop, whether within WA, his solo work, whatever. He had, his good friend DJ Speed, and DJ Speed and I've met a couple times. Really nice guy. He has his place in hip hop history, but basically I was at his apartment one day and we basically were discussing rap and blah, blah, blah. And he actually had a magazine that was in Eazy-E's name. So Eric Wright is his name. And basically he had a running subscription with The Source magazine and The Source hip hop publication. So when Eazy-E died, he still had his running publication with the Source for like another year or something like that. I don't know how long, but he basically had it for another year. And basically DJ Speed had one of the copies with DJ Speed had one of the Source magazines with Eazy-E's name and address and everything. It was shipped to his house even after his death. And DJ Speed gave me one of those. So I thought that was crazy because it's got Eazy-E's name on it. It was meant to go to him. Like you can see where he lived, you know, one of his houses. And I just thought that's crazy because there's not many of those floating around there. So that's one thing. I also have some of his business cards from Ruthless Records. Having that is just, you know, knowing that can't be duplicated ever is just wild to me. It's not something I'd ever sell. And that is just so rare and so unique and so bizarre because he died and he was still getting all these subscriptions to who knows what else. So that's just wild. That's one of my favorite things that comes to mind.
I'm wearing something hip hop today too as well. So this is the Visionaries right here and all that stuff, like all of them. So if you want to like review them for your next YouTube, like please do. They have some good stuff. So I just gotta represent for the people out in LA.
Boys in the Hood, the movie Boys in the Hood.
Nice.
Cuba Gooding Jr. and company. This is
Yeah.
one of the first hip hop films I'd seen and one of my favorites. And yeah,
That's
I
awesome.
really enjoyed it back, especially when I was younger. I really liked the movie.
And also rest in peace to like John Singleton too, who directed it.
Rest in peace. Exactly. Yep. R.I.P.
Definitely. Unfortunately, I'm the odd one out. I've not got any hip hop tees, so I just put my Static X one on. So,
No worries.
Amir, it's great having you here in this episode of the Autistic Delicatessen.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Thank you for watching this episode of the Autistic Delicatessen video series. If you are interested in more episodes or more content in the podcast, go to theampliverse.com/the-autistic-delicatessen. There you'll find both the video series and the podcast, both with different content at your leisure.
And when you're on our YouTube channel, be sure to subscribe for future content. And until next time,
What you eat, what you drink is your story.